Hey guys, JV here with another edition of my Mass Effect Andromeda Pathfinder Guide series. This time we're going to look at one of the first things you do at the very beginning of the game, which is choosing your training. Character classes, as we traditionally know them in the series, are gone in Andromeda, and instead we have training, which is less restrictive but still has a few nuances to it that I want to go over. In this video, I'll show you each of the starting powers that you get with each training in action, as well as everything you should keep in mind when choosing a training background for your writer. Also, don't worry, there are no spoilers in this video. This is really for people who are about to jump in and start a new game. Before we start, quick reminder that you'll find all kinds of Andromeda content on this channel, including tips and tricks guides, multiplayer, and my streamed playthrough, which continues the Monday before the game launches. So if any of that interests you, be sure and subscribe to my channel. Right when you start a new game, you get to customize your character, your writer. You get to choose gender, what they look like, what their first name is, things of that nature. But you also get to choose your training. This is your writer's technical background, what they have experience in, and that actually leads to the abilities that you're going to be able to use right when you start the game. We have 6 options to choose from, and we're going to jump in and look at them, see what they actually look like in gameplay in just a second here, but they loosely align to the traditional classes, and I'll draw those comparisons when we look at each of them. But essentially, you have a variety of combat, tech, and biotic options to choose from. Each training option gives you one starting power by default that you can use right when you jump into the game and get in your first combat situation, and 2 early unlock skills. Now, the starting power is self-explanatory, but the unlocked skills are a little more difficult to explain. These are early unlocked skills that would be locked otherwise in that specific tree if you chose another training. For example, here's a Sara writer where I chose the operative training, which is kind of like infiltrator. Again, we'll look at those in a second. So with the operative, I get tactical cloak immediately unlocked. Otherwise, this would be something that I'd have to invest a certain amount of points into the tech tree in order to unlock. That is my immediate unlock. That's how unlocked skills work. So going over to combat still with the operative training here, you can tell at the bottom I have combat fitness immediately unlocked. I'd have to otherwise spend a certain amount of points in the combat tree in order to unlock this. It's immediately unlocked since I chose the operative. Now you may be wondering what happens if I respec my abilities. We'll look at that in just a little bit here. First, we have security training, whose starting power is the concussive shot, and then unlocked skills are turbocharge and combat fitness. So if you're a fan of the franchise, you played the original trilogy, this is pretty much the soldier class of, or the soldier training of Andromeda. So the immediate ability you get is that concussive shot, which is something a soldier would use. It's kind of a homing missile that stuns enemies and deals damage. That's useful. And then you also get the early unlock, which is kind of this orange glow on my weapon called turbocharge, which increases your rate of fire, increases your damage, basically just boosts the capability of whatever weapon you're using. The other early unlock is just a passive, it's combat fitness, and this is going to increase your health, your survivability a little bit, and allow you to bring in more weapons in a battle. It increases your holsters. However, you do suffer a power recharge penalty because, you'll be overweight. But anyways, this is all about boosting your weapons. So if you want to be focused on the weapons that you're using more than anything, this is probably the class to pick. The next training is Biotic, which has the starting power of Throw and then the unlocked skills of both Singularity and Barrier. So this is most similar to the Adept of the original trilogy. It's all about using your biotics. And so you just saw Throw there. That's kind of the bread and butter ability, very low cooldown, so you can use this a lot. It's got a fast recharge rate. And then you also get Singularity, which I just threw right there. This sets up targets for a biotic combo. So you can go ahead and throw in a Singularity and then finish it off with a Throw to get a biotic combo very early in the game. There's some great synergy with this class. The other unlocked skill is a passive, so you can't actually use the ability. It's Barrier. It was switched from the original trilogy, and Barrier is a defensive, thing. You'll get more shields, you'll get more resistance to certain things. That's what Barrier is all about. You just won't be able to actually activate it in combat. The Biotic is all about using those biotic skills to their maximum potential. I mean, having Singularity really early in the game is really good. The only thing you're weak to is shields, but this is a very strong training to choose. The next training is Technician, and your starting power is Overload, while your unlocked skills are Invasion and Team Support. So the Technician is most similar to the Engineer of the original trilogy. It's all about focusing on those tech abilities to take out your enemies. Your starting power is Overload. You just saw it there. Fantastic ability. I think it's my favorite power in the game so far. You can actually charge it up and it will deal more damage and chain to multiple enemies. It's great against synthetic enemies like the Remnant that I'm fighting against now. It's just super powerful overall. The unlocked skill passive is team support, which is a survivability thing for the tech tree. So if you want to have a little more survivability, you get that unlocked early, especially if you're playing on a higher difficulty. And then you also get invasion, which is this other ability we're about to show. I already used it once. Basically, you fire these little computer viruses that hack your enemy and reduce their resistances. So it's kind of like a debuff. It's almost like the tech's version of warp. There it is on that little bug. Next training is Leader, which gives you Energy Drain as your starting power, and then Annihilation and Team Support as your unlocked skills. So this is an interesting one. This is the Sentinels training of Andromeda. And so right there, I just use Energy Drain. Really interesting and fast recharging ability that steals your opponent's shields, give them to you, and also deals bonus damage to synthetics. So it's kind of like Overload, but a little different, a little bit more defensive. The Leader also gets Annihilation, which you can see on the ground. It's kind of like a blue biotic field that actually hurts enemies that are in it and primes them for detonation. So you can actually go up, activate Annihilation, and then Energy Drain enemies, and that'll be a biotic combo right there. It's a really interesting mix of abilities. You also get the Team Support passive. We've already talked about that one. It's a tech survivability passive for this character. But yeah, this is an interesting one. I've always been a fan of Sentinel type characters. I'm not a big fan of Annihilation, I will say, but I love Energy Drain. Next up is Scrapper, and the starting power for this training is Charge, and then your unlocked skill is Combat Fitness. Technically, Charge is also a unlocked skill because that's something you have to invest more points into, but it doubles up for this class. Obviously, this is the vanguard of the original trilogy in Andromeda. You're going to be charging forward with this biotic punch with Charge. It's super, super aggressive, usually paired with a shotgun because you're already up close. If you're unfamiliar, Charge actually replenishes some of your shield while also dealing damage to the enemy. So it's actually something that you want to use to close the gap and deal damage, but also protect yourself. You want to charge away from certain enemies that are hurting you towards other ones so you can actually replenish your shield. You also get Combat Fitness, which is something we looked at with the security training. This is just going to help with your survivability, with your health, and also allow you to carry more weapons if you wish. But this is the classic combination of combat and biotic skills, but super, super aggressive. The final training option is Operative, and the starting power for this one is Tactical Cloak, and then your unlocked skills are Combat Fitness again, and Tactical Cloak, which doubles up as your starting power once again. So, as you guys know, this is basically the Infiltrator of the original trilogy, but in Andromeda. And so, you've got this Tactical Cloak immediately, as you guys saw, you go invisible, and then you get a damage boost for your next attack. Whether it's tech, biotic, or just shooting your weapon, you're going to get a damage boost on that, and it's super useful with a sniper. Whenever you activate Tactical Cloak, enemies just forget where you are. They don't know where you are. They're not going to try to shoot for you. They ignore you. So that allows you to escape if you're in a bad situation. It allows you to find a really good, position to shoot people from. And my favorite use of it so far, you're about to see it, is the ability to jump up and hover with the new movement mechanics after you've cloaked and then shoot an enemy that you couldn't hit otherwise. So you get that elevation boost and then you're able to hit them in a weak spot. It's super powerful. Again, you get Combat Fitness for extra survivability and more weapons if you wish, but I really do like the Operative starting class. So those were all the training options and what their starting powers look like. So you may be wondering, if I choose a training, what happens if down the line I decide to respec and reallocate my points? So I'm going to show you what happens right here. So I've gone to the med bay aboard the Tempest, about to say the Normandy, and I have spent a little bit of credits to respec and reallocate my points. So this is with a character that initially I chose the Technician for. And what you're going to see here is that after you make that initial decision of your training, you can't re-choose your training. You're stuck with that. So what does that mean? First off, I don't have that point in Overload anymore. It actually it refunded that 1 point, so I don't have to choose Overload anymore. That basically means it wiped my starting ability. But as you can tell, it kept my unlocked skills, because both Invasion and Team Support require like 9 points in tech in order to unlock normally. But again, I had that early unlock with the Technician training. So what does that mean exactly? It means that you're stuck with your early unlocked skills, no matter what. You can't go back and choose those because you can't redo your training. And honestly, that's not a terrible thing. The real only difference it makes is in the first 10 hours when you're first trying to get to those really cool abilities in a tree. If I chose Technician, then decided to go like a full soldier like Security, then I just would miss out on Turbocharge immediately. I would have to allocate 9 points into combat in order to unlock that. And that doesn't mean that you're forced to get abilities that you don't want, because there's a lot of flexibility in all of the trees. You could go for passives or go for an active ability in a tree that you didn't start with as you're training, boost that up until you do unlock the ability that you do want, and then grab that. So long story short, when you're choosing your training, the unlocked skills matter more, but only for the first 5 to 10 hours, because you're going to gain a lot of skill points as you level up. It's going to pile up quickly. You're going to have tons of abilities that you can choose from, and as I showed you, if you decide to respec, you refund that 1 point with your starting power, and so it's really not that important. Don't stress over it. If you start out the game as a more biotic adept kind of character and switch gears completely and go for a tech engineer, don't worry about it, because you're not losing out on much if you decide to respec and go in a completely different direction. Alright guys, that is all I have for training, just a basic overview of how it works, how it's different from the original trilogy, and the consequences of it, and I hope this helped you make a decision on your training early in the game. That's kind of the intended purpose since the game's about to come out, and I really do hope this helped you. And if it did, remember to hit that like button, I'd really appreciate it. And also don't forget to subscribe for tons of Andromeda content, more tips and tricks guides, multiplayer, and my streamed playthrough, which again is continuing the day before launch, Monday, March 20th. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.